Hello and welcome to episode 49 of the podcast. It is Clark here with Phil.
Hello!
So this week we are going to look at space travel, where it started, where we are now, where it's going to hopefully go. And yes, we're going to look at some stuff that actually is really interesting and quite surprising. So we hope you enjoy this week's. Nine, 8. I'm not going to go there.
The launch codes.
So we have podcasts. So here we are. So
we have podcasts.
So obviously we know what we're talking about this week. Everybody that's listening knows what we're talking about this week. Because the intro comes at the start. So we're gonna.
Yes, that's normally our intro would go.
Yeah. So we thought we'd start off with basically where this started off, where space travel started off. So we have to go all the way back to October
Earth,
4th.
wasn't it?
Well, mostly, yeah. As far as we know. I know. Go back to listen to our conspiracy episode.
Oh, don't even.
So we have to go all the way back to 1957 on October 4th. So the Russians
There you go.
launched the first artificial satellite, which is called Sputnik 1.
Sputnik.
Yeah, and that went up into space, and it was just its first wee. You ever see it? The wee ball with the
Yeah.
4 wee prongs. in it?
Reminds me of Johnny 5. Remember Johnny?
No.
Oh.
What is it?
You robot man?
No.
I'm Johnny Man.
No.
Oh.
So 4 years later, again the Russians. So it was April 12th, 1961. Russian Lieutenant Yuri Gagarin became the first human to orbit Earth in Vostok 1. How cool are the names?
Vostok? That's in
Vostok.
Destiny?
Oh yeah, it's a gun in it.
No, it's a map.
Oh, it's a place.
It's a place.
That's right. I'm thinking of what do you call that auto rifle from Destiny 1?
Well, there's loads.
Vostov.
Oh.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, Vostok. Yeah. Well, that's where they're gonna have dragged that from.
Yeah.
So his flight lasted about 108 minutes, and Gagarin reached an altitude of 202 miles, about 327 kilometers.
That's
so then
scary for those times, like.
exactly, can you imagine what that would have been like? Be like being like a human bullet in a bin.
It's not. Yeah, it's not even that. It's just being the very first person to do it.
Oh, how cool is that?
How much?
He will forever be
Yeah.
that guy. Like everyone knows, anyone that has any interest in space knows who he is.
Yeah, but you'd need to have some cojones to do that, though.
Yep. Like I know
You
his
ready?
name.
Yeah.
Yes, as I'm ever gonna be.
Ask me again in about 17 years.
So obviously the US and the USSR were at odds at that point. Obviously, up until recently had a fairly tumultuous relationship. So the US then were like, here, well, you aren't the only ones sending the satellite up. So the Soviets went up in 57. Soviets? Why am I saying that weird?
Don't know. Soviets?
Soviets? What the hell's going on there?
I'm trying to turn Russian. The Russian language is just like English reversed.
Soviets. Say it again.
Soviets.
Thank you. So.
Soviets. You like them feats, do you?
Horrendous. Like
you like your features, don't you?
Say it one more time.
Soviets.
Yeah. I'm really struggling with it.
Soviet Union.
I know. I bet you've
I've got a cold and I'm still saying Soviets. Soviets. Maybe it's different.
I'm just gonna call them Russians.
Maybe. Well, yeah.
That's just
then, yeah, I suppose.
So, which is a longer word. I don't know. Soviets.
Maybe it's different whenever you're reading
Soviets. Nice. Twice in a row. Okay, so the first US satellite was called Explorer 1. So whoever named that obviously was really creative.
What are you going to do today? Explore? I'm going to call you.
Well,
Explorer 1.
I'm surprised it's not called like Spaceship 1. So it was our satellite 1. It went into orbit on January 31st, 1958. So about 3 months after Sputnik. And they had a space fight. No, they didn't really. But that would have been amazing.
Like Robot Wars.
So then,
Sputnik and
after Yuri Gagarin, the Americans were not to be beaten, so they then sent an American into space. Do you know what his name was? But you know Gagarin, but do you ever remember the second guy? Because to be honest with you, I didn't remember his name at all.
No, I don't think so.
Alan Shepard, one of the most like
Shepard. I
Yeah.
knew it was because I think the fellas from Call of Duty named your man from that. Shepard.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was the first American, and then on February 20th, 1962, a guy called John Glenn was the first American to orbit the Earth.
Why there wasn't competition? Like I understand, you know, you want to be the first people to do blah blah blah, but I mean,
Yeah.
good grief, like.
They're not so much anymore.
No,
but
not
that's a bit of a
anymore.
spoiler.
It's- yeah.
But
Well, it's not really. if you're
but
living in 2018, I'm sure you followed
that's true. If you have any interest at all.
in the news.
So basically then after the flight of John Glenn and sorry just before that, President JFK had said by the end of the 1960s he wanted a man on the moon.
Yeah.
His literal quote was, landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to Earth within a decade was the national goal. So
But
obviously,
why?
just because you can.
But
to
why
prove,
though?
just to prove how great we are as a people.
And then the aliens are like, "What did he just do?"
We've done that like 20 million times.
We do it to just go down to the shops.
Yeah, literally, that's my summer home.
Yeah.
But on Europa. But so in July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong took that one giant leap for mankind. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind is a quote as he stepped onto the moon. You should look into a bit more about that if you ever get a chance, as to how much fuel and stuff they had left and
Yeah.
how close it was to not working, because he had to basically take manual control whether they were going to land, wasn't going to work.
It's the heaviest thing on a spaceship.
What, fuel?
Mhm.
Yeah. So they did by the end of the 60s, just about. They were on the moon. First man on the moon.
Or were they?
Yes. So then 6 more missions were between 69 and 72 were sent to the moon as well. 6 more Apollos, that was.
Bruce Willis was in one of them, wasn't
13. So no, that's only 7.
he? Oh yeah.
So it
Yeah,
was
but he was
later
still
on.
he was still in one though.
Officially, yes.
Yeah.
But during the 60s, so within the same time period, or well, most of it anyway, and whenever they were trying to get a man on the moon, they were doing a lot of other things. So it was the first time that they sent unmanned spacecraft up to take photographs of the moon. By the 70s, we had orbit and communications, like navigation satellites, things like that. We had a spacecraft orbiting Mars called the Mariner. I couldn't believe all this was in the 70s.
Yeah.
I feel like we've only just started going up to Mars recently, but it's
Yeah,
been going for like 40, 50 years.
But whenever you think about it, like 2018 is very technological based,
Mm-hmm.
whereas like 1900s
Whatever.
weren't too far away, really.
Well, in ways maybe, but like, I just couldn't believe it. We were going around Mars at that point, and then Voyager, and by the end of the 70s, had sent back detailed images of Jupiter and Saturn, their rings and their moons.
Yeah.
What are we?
Yeah.
We are class.
It's weird as well because we haven't really
Why haven't we
Pushed.
scratched the surface?
pushed the boundaries yet, have we?
No, I think
Well,
it's a
it's been
lot
like
more of can we
40
survive
years.
there, like figure out a lot, because obviously it doesn't. I would assume that first one to Mars took longer than it would now.
Yeah.
Because from what I read earlier, it's only a few months
Yeah.
to get to Mars now with a probe. So then again in the 70s, America, they were just going nuts. They were just doing loads of stuff.
Yeah, well, that's what they want to do, innit?
They had Skylab, which was the first America's first space station.
Skynet.
Yeah, and as was the Apollo Soyuz test project. That was the world's first internationally crewed American and Russian space mission. So obviously the Apollo works for the moon, and the Soyuz capsule is what is still used to today, for the Russians and everyone actually, except for the Japanese. I think they have their own. Or
Probably.
Chinese have their own,
Those Chinese just know how to create everything, don't they?
because they're the taikonauts.
Yeah.
Cosmonauts are the Russians. Astronauts are
Yeah.
obviously everyone else. So that we know of. So in the 80s,
And the alienauts.
in the 80s, then basically again we'd sent up the satellite communications that carried TV, so like satellite TV, and then also the satellites then started to discover ozone holes, when that's when
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff started kicking
Yeah.
in.
Well, that was good for us,
Um,
wasn't it?
Exactly. So
You're
again,
melting the glaze. Oh no.
stop doing it.
The
But,
ozone layer's bad. Do you remember that song in school? You used to sing about the ozone layer?
No,
No.
not even.
Neither did I, but I remember singing about a song in the ozone layer.
I didn't know there was one.
Yeah. I don't know.
Interesting. No, I've
What's
never
Google
heard of it.
afterwards, see what the thing's all about. Something about the ozone layer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it'd be worth looking up. Cause
Remember those days?
literally never
Where
heard
no
of
one
this.
really cared about it at all.
But
2047 comes around, we'll all care about it.
but the 80s is when we started caring. Yeah, you're right, Will. We're gonna have nothing left. I actually was listening to, there's a new podcast I'm listening to, The Guardian have brought out. It's really good. It's about 20 minutes. It comes out every day. It's about 20-25 minutes, and it has two main parts. It's called Today in Focus.
Yeah.
So about 18 minutes of it roughly is like one story, and then there's like a wee small one at the end.
Right.
So it's like a I don't really know, like sort of like an exclusive story. It's really short, but it's really good.
Okay.
So I listened to one the other day about the new Brazilian president.
Yeah.
Can't remember his name, but he's very, very right wing, and a lot of the reason why he's even basically got in power, in certain parts of Brazil, he got the votes because he's basically said you can cut down the Amazon if you want.
That's crazy.
For 4 years, he's in charge. It's just so
You can
messed up.
cut down the Amazon if you want.
Like literally, he's gonna make it easier for people to cut down the Amazon. Like, what is going on? Why does that need to happen? Anyway, it's a whole different podcast. But
It is, yeah. I hate when people the fact that people need to have one person in charge of their country is mental.
don't even. Honestly, you should listen to it. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
And then there's a little one of the shorter parts at the end of today. Was a guy's what was his job?
Tree surgeon.
No, it was basically he records sounds, but it was an ecological something or other. But he would go out into like forests and he would go underwater and all that sort of stuff, and he would just record the sounds and whatever. And he plays you two. It's only a part of it, but he plays you two clips. One from early 2000s, and same place, and then one from 2015. And he's like, just listen. You can hear the
changes.
birds and whatever. See the next one? Silence.
Yeah.
Absolutely no noise whatsoever.
Because all the
Global
habitats
warming
have been.
and just everything's just destroyed.
That sucks.
And anyway, that's a slight caveat, but it's
That's sad.
It's really, really good. I'll let you hear it after, because it literally is just a wee small clip. But we're now in 1980, so we're close to, we're only about 37 years ago. So so the space shuttle in April 1981, the space shuttle Columbia ushered in what was called a period of reliance on a reusable shuttle. So up to that point, everything was like falling off as it was going up, and then you could really only use what you had once. Whereas this was, the big white one that looked like a plane.
Yeah.
That would come down and land like that. That's what we're talking about when we say the space shuttle. So 24 successful shuttle launches fulfilled many scientific and military requirements until January 28th, 1986. 73 seconds after liftoff, the space shuttle Challenger exploded. The crew of 7 was killed, including Krista, I can't really say her surname, which is horrendous, I'll try. Krista McAuliffe, I would guess. Macauliffe. Christina McAuliffe, I'm going to say. She was a teacher from New Hampshire who had been the first civilian in space, and she died too.
What was her second name?
McAuliffe. McAuliffe.
It's a strange name.
McAuliffe.
Never heard that name before.
No, never mind, but I'm assuming she has Irish descendants. Based on the Mick. So
the MC.
There was 3 basically main catastrophes. So the next one was the Columbia disaster.
Yeah.
On February 1st, 2003. Basically, what happened was it was coming back into the atmosphere after being up and in space and stuff. So they'd done the hard bit. They're coming down, and they were over Texas, so we're literally a few minutes away from landing at the Kennedy Space Center.
Yeah.
When what happened was basically a piece of foam insulation broke off the tank, damaged the wing, and the whole thing exploded because of the heat, obviously, on the way down so much that just couldn't take it. Sorry, there was 2. Sorry, I said 3. There was 2 losses of life. So there was 113 flights, and 2 of them were catastrophic. Basically, everyone died.
It's a good ratio and all, but it's sad that even 2 had to have happened.
Sort of not. It's like 2%.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it's better than like
all of them.
Yeah.
No, but basically then after that they were
They're
suspended.
aware of the risks, though, like, aren't they? At the end of the day, they're aware. Of
Oh,
what's going
definitely,
on.
and if you think about it, really, like what they've done in the last whatever amount of time that the astronauts were in space, what they would have seen would have just been.
Yeah.
Would you have been able to explain it to anyone? Probably not.
I think I could die after seeing the Earth in space. To be
It would
honest.
have just been, would have been amazing.
Yeah.
But basically, then the three of them were retired. So there was Discovery, Endeavour, and then Atlantis. They were all basically phased out over 2011.
Atlantis is underwater now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lost. But
along with its city.
and the wee mermaids that were in it. But yeah, basically they were all shut down. So by 2011, there's no more space shuttles at all.
Yeah.
Americans now have to fly to Russia, where they take off from there basically.
Well, it's good they sort of paired up, innit?
Yeah, but as far as I'm aware, I don't think it's free. I think they have to pay Russia to use their flight,
Oh dear.
their stuff.
Well, Trump will be having some problems with that there with him and his space force, won't he?
yeah. So
Bloody Egypt.
not the first person to come up with it, by the way.
No, but
Somebody else thought of it.
he'll
too.
probably be the first one to implement it as well. He'll be like, no, look at me, I'm Donald Trump. I have a tower.
Well, we'll see how the
You
vote
can
goes.
see. You can see.
As to whether he gets anything. But
Well, that's true, right enough. Yeah.
he may have nothing for the next 2 years.
Hopefully
But
it doesn't.
so then, obviously, everyone knows about the International Space Station. It's a research laboratory in low Earth orbit. It's got many different people that contribute to design, construction, and basically, it's now a symbol of cooperation in space exploration. As former competitors now working together.
Be cool to stay there, like just walking around and looking at the window, going, look
You
at
can't
space.
even walk, you float.
Oh yeah, that's right. You have to do that there.
Yeah,
and you have to
you
pull
float.
yourself.
Yeah.
Go look out the window. Ah yeah, look, there's Billy and the next door
Apparently,
neighbour.
some of the stuff you can see is just I have a book. Remember, obviously, I went to Chris Hadfield in
Yeah.
February.
Jesus.
I bought he has a book of pictures he took from the International Space Station,
Mm.
and he just writes what it is and stuff, and they are
Oh yeah, definitely.
so good. It's one of those books I think will be a really nice coffee table book,
Yeah.
you know, because then you just pick it up and have a
Yeah.
flick through. Really, really cool.
No, I do like looking at space.
And he signed it,
Well,
which is nice.
you gonna
So
sell
whether
that
or not.
sell that on eBay.
No, it's one of those things I just think is class. So
Oh yeah, definitely. I
hold
love just look through things. I love to be in, in one of those, the big spherical observation
there
things.
is one, and
Yeah.
that's where he takes the pictures from. That's
Yeah.
where you,
Oh yeah,
that's
no,
where-
I mean like here. I would like to go and one that just
Oh.
have the pictures on.
yeah,
the,
yeah.
I would just walk in and be like, yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I thought you meant on the space station because there is a wee.
Oh no,
bit
no, no,
that
yeah.
You can stick your head up
Yeah.
and see all the stuff.
But no, I'd like to just sit in this big massive spherical thing and just be like, yeah, look at all this stuff.
Nice.
That'd be class.
So the station's been continuously occupied since the arrival of Expedition 1 in November of 2000, which actually does mean that we now have colonised that part of space.
Yeah.
So long as we're there, I think it's for 10 years or more,
Yeah.
we've officially colonised it, so there you are.
Pat in the back.
So the Russian Soyuz and Progress, the American Dragon and Cygnus, and Japanese H2 transfer vehicle, and formerly Space Shuttle and European Automated Transfer Vehicle. So all of those used to or do currently fly up and down basically to the space station. And it's been visited by astronauts, cosmonauts, and space tourists.
Has there been any
17
like
countries.
bad, if you can remember, any like bad trips then between there, like recently? Because I can't imagine. I can't.
Nothing really goes wrong anymore.
Yeah.
Not really.
So they've sort of got it down now, haven't they?
Yeah, like the Soyuz is so safe.
Yeah.
Apparently coming down's horrendous in it though,
Oh.
because like parachute goes, but have you ever seen it hit the ground?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it still hits it like so hard. But nothing major. I mean, obviously, whenever I went to see Chris Hadfield, he was telling stories about like his time in the space station and how at one point he looked out. Sorry, he went past one of the Russians and he speaks Russian as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he said what the guy said in
What
Russian.
a language to learn, like.
Yeah, but you sort of need to because you're going to be with them.
Oh
for
no, yeah,
months,
it makes sense,
so
but it's just it'd be really an awkward language to learn.
he lived there for years. As
Yeah.
well. So like it's one of those things that you learnt a lot, and I think it'd be a cool language to know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But
But like I said, it's like see whenever a Russian man speaks English in his accent, it just sounds like we were talking and then reversed it.
yeah.
That's how it sounds.
sort of.
No, it does.
But oh, that's just, I tell you, like honestly, like see, whenever he was telling, he does say flew past the film, the guy was like blah, 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 whatever he said in Russian, but in English it was translated to, "What's that coming out of the station?" So they looked out the window and they could see stuff like coming out, and essentially it was they're like a little hole somewhere that was releasing what was the chemical? I can't remember. It's gonna do my head in. But essentially, the chemical was responsible for the heating within the space station. So they needed to fix it, or they'd freeze to death once it all disappeared. So they then had to quickly throw together a space walk, which usually you have to plan for like days. They didn't have days, so they had to basically throw that together, get out, fix it, come back, all the rest, but all this you have to put past NASA and also the space agency of Russia. I don't know exactly what they're called, but there's so much more to it just than, oh, we're just gonna go out for a dander here. You're not. There's loads of sort of stories. Like whenever you're up there, it's more dangerous, I think, than when you're on the way up. Obviously, whenever you do the blast off bit, that's probably the worst bit. Yeah. You're sitting on top of an explosion. But once you're in the space, you know, it's a matter of just everything is down to like a T, and then whenever again you're with other people and human error can come in, and apparently sometimes when you're in the space station, he said as well, you hear a little like ting 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 ting, and you're just hitting meteorites are hitting it.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
Like small ones, obviously.
Oh yeah, little tiny things. Yeah.
But you can hear it as they like ding off it.
Oh, that's class.
And obviously you're closer to the sun.
Yeah.
And all that sort of stuff, so the radiation's different there as well. So there's a lot of different sort of cool things, and I'm sure you've got a whole pile of facts for once we get a wee bit later on.
Oh, I do indeed. We've got plenty of them.
It'll be cool.
The whole 17, in fact.
There you are. So basically, so we got as far as the space station. So what people expect in the future basically is NASA, their current goal is Mars. They want to send humans to the red planet in 2030, so like 15 years.
That's when Planet of the Apes comes in, isn't it?
Yep, and we're gonna find monkeys there. But
to be fair, that'd be funny. You'd be like, right, who was the fella that made the film? How do you know?
It's like Simpsons. But
oh yeah, I know.
Curiosity rover has been there to collect radiation data. And the Mars 2020 rover is on the way there, to study the availability of oxygen and other resources. And I can't remember for the life of me what the other one's called, but there's one that's gonna land. I think it's November. Oh, this month. Oh, it's landing this month, and it's static. Everything else has been sort of moving around, but this one's static, and it is basically going to measure what are called Mars quakes, because obviously it's not Earth. Yeah. So you ever noticed that? I think it's really weird. What? You can't call them earthquakes because it's not Earth. So
well, no, I mean obviously I think that was an obvious thing, isn't it?
It's basically gonna check seismic activity up there to see what's going on.
That'd be cool.
So
and then the seasons as well of Mars, that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
I think there's probably already been sort of stuff that's been sort of looked up on that, because obviously they know a lot about, like for example, there used to be water and so on and so forth, but I can imagine in the next 15 years
there used to be liquid.
Be more probes. Yeah, sorry, liquid.
Don't really know if it was water or not. Like if it was water, it's not our sort of water.
I think they found ice, so I think it is.
Really?
Yeah. I think they found ice.
That's kind of cool, like.
So, but it was undersurface, like.
Yeah. I love space stuff.
Well, you're in luck because space.
Space
tourism is a thing.
Yeah.
It's being done.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's good.
It's not cheap, but it's a thing.
If we sold the podcast rights, maybe we'll get half a seat.
Get a Mars bar, maybe. So there's several different types. So there's orbital, which is obviously you go around the Earth. Suborbital, just underneath, and then lunar space tourism. So orbital space has been performed only by the Russian Space Agency. So I was right. That is what you call them. So
the
basically,
RSA.
The RSA.
It always sounds really bad. Whenever it's like SA at the end of it, you're like, oh, that's not good, is it?
No,
No,
don't want that.
No.
But
the SA's coming up.
They've charged I think it's 7 people for 8 journeys, between $20 and $40 million, for 10 days in the International Space Station.
I'd be intrigued to see what sort of celebrities would do that though as well, because that's.
It'll be like Shia LaBeouf, that type of guy.
He's mad for
you know
it.
what I mean? He'd be up for that.
It'll be the ones that
Johnny
sort of
Depp
off the
would do
rails.
it.
Yeah,
I feel like he'd do it.
Jim Carrey, I think he'd go nuts.
He would be so up for that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if like Neil deGrasse Tyson,
I
know those sort of boys won't get up there.
That would make sense, wouldn't it, really?
But there's currently aerospace companies called, well, only 3 actually, but there's Blue Origin, Virgin Galactic, and SpaceX. They're basically.
There's one I seen earlier on.
There's more, but those are only 3 that I've found. I know you mentioned one more.
I don't know.
Do you remember?
Aero something, X something.
They're all basically planning on sending people up, as like a holiday.
Yeah.
Which would
a holiday.
Which would basically essentially be what they're expecting. Sorry, is that the vehicle would make a suborbital flight, peaking at around 62 to 99 miles up in the air, so about 100 to 160 kilometers. Basically, anyone in the vehicle would experience 3 to 6 minutes of weightlessness, a view of a twinkle-free star field, which I just think sounds amazing, and then a vista, so a view of the curved
It's a really
Earth.
good name.
What, Twinkle-Free
Starfield?
That's lovely, isn't it?
Brilliant name.
It's like a really great band name.
Mm.
If you play really sad songs.
Well, or
I
out
feel
there
like Noel
songs.
Fielding would be in that band.
Yeah, if you're like, to me, space always just reminds me of people smoking weed, and then like if you're ever to be in a space band, you'd be like, that's what you'd be doing. You'd be smoking weed, and you'd be singing about space that you've never been.
Do you want a Twinkle-Free Starfield? I would love some.
I'd love some. That's a great marijuana make. Actually,
isn't
that'd
it?
be fantastic.
Isn't it?
That's some Twinkle-Free.
Nobody steal that.
Yeah. Patent it quickly.
But
because we're ever going to grow it in Northern Ireland
all the time before we get arrested for it.
Yeah.
But basically, it would give you the view then of the curved Earth.
Yeah.
So anyone that's a flat earther, suck it.
Yeah.
Basically, they're expecting that to cost about $200,000 to go out and do that.
That's quite. I mean, that's like a tour for some musicians.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they'll be laughing. Basically, there's been some successful projects. So, a company called Scaled Composites won $10 million, which was an X Prize, with Spaceship One, first private company to reach and surpass an altitude of 62 miles twice within 2 weeks. Basically, it's an altitude that's beyond what's called the Kármán line, which is basically a boundary between Earth and space.
Yeah.
The first flight was flown by a fella called Michael Melville in 2004.
He's the Hulk,
making him the first commercial astronaut.
Yeah, that's
there you
cool.
go. Remember the name.
That's cool.
So basically, then another guy called Brian Binney.
Brian Binney,
BINNIE. He flew the one that was 70 miles. He was the higher one and actually won the money. And then currently, obviously SpaceX are looking at it, and Virgin Galactic.
Imagine winning $10 million for yours. That's crazy. Just to further your.
Oh, just to push it on.
Yeah.
And see how much more you can do.
Crazy.
Obviously SpaceX and Virgin Galactic are ran by billionaires, so they can just pump money into it. Basically, Virgin Galactic aspires to be the first to offer regular suborbital space flights. Basically, they have currently five Spaceship Two class space planes, so they've basically went one up on previous one. So the first one was called the VSS Enterprise, was intended to commence its first commercial flight in 2015, but obviously hasn't gone yet. But the tickets are now not only 200,000, they are 250,000.
Yeah.
So
I think the cheapest ones were 150.
Yeah, and that's on the wing.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably won't come back. But yeah, that's where we are now. I think it's pretty cool.
I just think it's mad. Like, it's only 2018.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, well, for me anyway, is that I can't imagine what it's like to be in space.
No.
Because I'm just such a gravity guy. Like, I would just love to not have gravity, just see what it's like.
Well, you can go to those little, what do you call it? You can go to those You can actually pay to go into a weightless chamber of some sort.
Do you know what I mean? The plane that like goes up, like directly up and then straight down again.
I don't know.
Do you remember Stephen Hawking did that?
Yeah.
And he said it was the freest he'd ever felt.
Well,
as long as you can remember.
yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
But then again, you can just go to those, what do you call those skydiving classes then, couldn't you really?
That's different. I've done that, but I just know gravity's dragging me.
Yeah.
But to literally float and feel nothing.
But you have to have something. Though. You have to have like a pill or something, don't you? Because you get really sick.
For gravity?
Yeah.
Without gravity?
Yeah. I think there was
Don't know.
because there was some. I think it was that film Gravity.
Yeah.
I think Sandra Bullock and who else was in that film?
I just remember her.
My mind's gone really blank today.
McConaughey wasn't in that, was he?
No.
That was Interstellar.
Interstellar was fantastic.
Yeah.
But I think she was saying about her having to go through these weightless things, and
she didn't like it.
yeah, apparently you get really ill sometimes.
Oh, you get really bad acid reflux in space
Yeah.
because there's no gravity holding your stomach acid down,
Yeah.
and you can't burp,
Yeah.
which I found out yesterday. So apparently you just fart a lot.
Everything just goes down.
It's just
Imagine your arse just burping.
what? Well, you have some pretty good
Yeah, I got
facts
some-
about space and being in space and
Some
things space.
decent facts, yeah. Obviously you would know yourself that satellites aren't floating in space; they're just falling.
What?
They're just falling.
Satellites?
Satellites, yeah, they're just falling.
What do you mean?
They don't float.
What do you mean they're falling?
It's in orbit, isn't it? So it just continues to
Oh yeah.
fall around the orbit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always. Yeah,
It's pretty.
because if it was floated, it wouldn't move.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Could you imagine just in it? Well, that's not doing very well, is
It's
it?
too high.
It's meant to be orbiting the place.
Oh damn
You'd be great.
it!
Send it up, lads.
Who did the Maz? Who did the Maz?
Still there? What? It's not moving? No. It's just turning.
That's where we wanted it.
Could you imagine? That'd be so funny. When a spacecraft uses a planet to speed itself up, the planet slows down a bit.
Really?
Apparently so. Spacecraft often boost their speed by flying close to a planet, falling towards it. As we've seen in some films.
The Martian.
Yeah.
They use it as a slingshot.
That's
method.
for the orbit,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it slowed Earth right down.
And steering a bit of its speed, it's a little like bouncing a ball off the front of a car as it moves towards you. But well, could you imagine doing that?
Don't ever do that.
Yeah. Well, unless the car's moving at like 2 miles an hour, then you're okay. But chuck it from very far away. But it steals a little bit of the planet's energy as it does so. When the Voyager 1 probe flew past Jupiter, it sped up by 16,000 meters per second.
What?
This is crazy, right? So it sped up by 16,000 meters per second, while Jupiter slowed down by. Now this is going to take a long time. So 0.0000000000000000001 meter per second.
It's like 4.
So 16,000 meters per second is equal to 0.
But Jupiter is humongous.
It
in
is huge.
comparison to
But could you
that
imagine
small.
how much that would change though if someone was to do that with Earth?
But over the years, surely if we shot like millions
I
of those
still don't
past it,
think-
Jupiter would start spinning the other way.
I still don't think that's possible. There's no way it would be possible.
That's nuts.
Because it has to eventually get back into speed, like, you know what I mean?
Can it though?
Surely it has
How?
to. Pulls and stuff in it has to go into the same speed. But I can imagine if someone was to go fly past Earth, we'd be in Russia by now. You know what I mean? We'd have a snowstorm
We'd
coming
have
in.
36-hour days.
Yeah. Oh, imagine having that
That'd be
though.
the worst.
And work would be woeful, wouldn't it?
It'd be the worst. You'd be at work.
What you do
you'd
today,
work.
lads? 16 hours? Oh, okay.
It's not too bad. You're easy enough week. It's only the 80 hours. It's alright.
Yeah, only the 80 hours this week. If the Earth was the size of a football, then no humans would have gone more than about 2 centimeters from its surface since we last went to the moon 44 years ago.
Huh.
Almost every manned space flight has been in low orbit Earth.
Yeah. Which is the space station. I think it's like, is there no point in going to the moon? I think there's no real point because we know there's nothing there.
Well, I suppose like
if we know what's there, why don't we start setting up some wee bases or something? That'd be cool.
I just don't think there's
I
much
suppose
point.
there's not really much point, but
What are
it'd
you going to
still
get
be
out of it,
cool.
really? You know, you're going to get like ash.
Well, no, there's stuff there, I'm sure, but like you could go up and get helium filaments, but you could you could
That's bloody grim that you remember that.
of course I remember.
Helium filaments.
But it would just be, you know what? That's
They're
actually
just the helium filaments you used to collect are the ones that are in the little containers on Mars.
that you blow up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they look similar.
They are.
But, definitely.
Mhm.
Oh, there you go. But
I don't know what explodes. Why?
Maybe.
Why does it explode?
Maybe because
Someone put a match in your throat whenever you're going beep 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 beep. You blow up. I don't think so. Yeah. So almost every manned space flight has been in low Earth, which means no more than about 1,000 kilometers above ground. Only humans who have ever left LEO were the 24 men on the Apollo missions we set out in 1972. By the way, if Earth were the size of a football, the sun would be about 25 meters across. Imagine
Holy
that.
crap! Have you ever seen though, like the thing that it shows you like
The size of a football,
size of
25
Earth.
meters.
or size of the moon, then it shows you Earth, then it shows you our sun, then
Oh, yeah.
it shows you like
Everything
other
else.
suns,
Yeah.
and like it turns out our sun's like really small.
Yeah, but then it tells you, like, it shows you. I think it was a video years ago. I remember in school. It would have been in school, maybe in tech or something. I seen, where it started off as the Earth, and just sort of zoomed out, and eventually you just seen these things,
Yeah.
and then it goes, and that's it, and you're like, you live here,
Yeah, and it's
and
the
then there's all
tiniest
these
wee thing.
massive,
Yeah.
masses of planets and suns and stars. Just
That's why I
like,
pure love the Hubble telescope. Do you ever look at the pictures the Hubble telescope takes?
yeah.
Oh my!
That's why I just
word.
love. Sometimes I just love googling like
It's
Earth
just so
pictures
gorgeous, like.
and space pictures. It's pure class. It would also be about 2,500 meters away. The nearest star, Proxima Centauri, would be more than 70,000 kilometers away, about a third of the distance to the real life moon.
Oh my word!
Space is huge.
But that's what baffles me, right? I love thinking about this sometimes. There is no end.
Oh yeah,
Like we physically can't comprehend that. Like we
Yeah.
always are like, but there has to. But there
There's
is
not.
physically no end.
yeah,
And like the fact that there's matter out there that we can't detect, dark matter, that we just can't. Like we've calculated the weight of the known universe.
yeah.
Well, not me, personally.
Well, if you've worked on the fair play, yeah.
But you know, as a human species, we've calculated the weight of the known universe, and then there was parts that we were like, that can't be right, and it's that dark matter, and we just can't figure out dark matter now.
Well, we're never really
It's
gonna.
just
We're never really gonna come to an end of it. Like scientists' works are always going to be cut out for them because they're always going to be like it's going to be a
Yeah.
continuous thing. No one's ever going to find an end to something.
Well, the thing is, if we get dark matter, which is apparently stuff that just does not reflect light whatsoever, and there's so much of it, black holes, as well. If we figure those out, apparently we haven't even seen one of those. I was reading that in the news the other day. Apparently, I think we haven't even seen a black hole because we shouldn't be able to see a black hole.
So how do we know they exist then?
I can't remember. It's something to do with Einstein.
That man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always think it's kind of strange that we've taken this sort of this fella to be like, yep, he is gospel truth. Has he seen the space?
Stuff that he
No.
put forward, though, it makes complete sense.
Oh yeah,
It is proven now.
mathematical sense. Yeah, but
So-
but I'd rather like believe someone that's been in space and been like, yeah, I haven't seen a black hole. Okay,
But they're so far away. If it was that close, we wouldn't be here.
no, you'd be done. We'd be
Apparently, we know
sucked
they're
in all the
there.
time.
Actually, I'm sort of remembering this. Apparently, we know they're there because there's a massive draw of gravity
yeah,
to that one area, but we can't see where it is or anything. There's no light.
just that far away.
It's just
But
literally.
it couldn't be like, 'cause it wouldn't reflect. It would just go
Exactly.
straight through
Just
it.
go straight into it.
That's
Exactly.
crazy to think about.
So it's literally. That's another thing. Can you actually imagine something that doesn't reflect light
No,
at all?
we wouldn't be able to. That's all we
It's
know.
just so weird. Like,
That's all we know.
oh,
But then
see all
again,
this stuff.
there's always. I remember one time seeing a hole. Not a hole. It was like a well.
That's amazing.
Whoa! But I shone a light down and couldn't see the light at the end of it.
That's pure mad.
I know. But
Like-
it's obviously the torch was really crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't.
But if you imagine, like, the brightest of the bright
yeah,
will never reflect.
you could
I
shine
mean-
a 1,000 candle torch
And it
on
would
that thing, and it'd be
never-
like,
Oh,
So?
what about it?
I don't want to reflect that.
No, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But, like, honestly, see the part, it just baffles me that we have literally not even scratched the surface of how much is out there because it physically cannot all be.
Yeah.
Oh, it's mad.
There's a wee picture of Curiosity here taking a wee selfie of himself on Mars.
You rover.
Cool. Can you see it?
Oh, look at him.
That's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, it's class.
I just think that's class. That's Mars,
Yeah.
or it just could be a sandy desert in.
And it's just red.
What do you mean?
Mars. It's just weird.
Yeah, but I wonder why it's red and not
It's
whatever that
probably
colour
the
is.
atmosphere because there's so much carbon dioxide.
Oh yeah, it's probably changed it. Whatever. Be cool going through it, seeing just going red, 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 orange, and then like yellow once you land on it, because that's not red.
No, but I mean, like, from the outside,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it weird
Yeah.
that, like, that's what I'm saying, the atmosphere, I think the way the light goes through
Yeah.
probably reflects.
Well, it's the same thing, I suppose, as Earth, because whenever you see the sea, it's not blue.
No, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think you're probably right in the way, as that's going down through, it's like red, orange,
Yeah.
slightly lighter orange.
Yeah. It's like a rainbow, but just like the rainbow's been stuck.
Yeah, do you know, like...
It's like, ah! There's no greens, there's no blues.
it's
That's all
reds.
oranges. That'd be kind of
But,
cool, like.
But I just think that's pure mad, like, the way it looks that way, and then you see that picture, and you're like, it could be anywhere.
Oh yeah, 100% it could be.
Well, it's obviously not, but...
Well, we don't know if it's obvious or not. It
It's,
might.
it's mad. You literally got a picture of Mars right there in your hand.
That could be a beach in Dubai.
Let me see. I've been there.
I just think it's strange they've been there for what, like 12 years.
It's weird that it hasn't like
Gone
broken.
anywhere.
It's just broken.
Yeah.
It hasn't broken.
Right enough, actually, that's like really, really good technology.
Yeah, that's
You
amazing.
wouldn't get that on an Xbox these days, would you? Like,
you don't even get it on the phone.
well, I've had
or
my
not.
No, I know. Phones only last for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Mine does, anyway. Battery goes down like 2 seconds. There have been a few others that have fallen in service. So the way they were saying there was how many have there been now? Robots have been sent out. It's bound to be loads.
Well, ones that have actually landed, I think there's like maybe 3, but I know that there's a lot because there was a map and something I looked up that showed all the things that
the
landed on
projections
Mars,
of where they went.
and there's like loads of them. There's
Yeah.
like maybe more than 10, and a lot of them are just wrecked. Like the one in the Martian, remember he finds that one. That I think pretty sure was based off a real one.
Was it?
I think so.
That's kind of cool. Kind of sad all the same. They just seem to crash. Imagine having all that work, putting
Yeah.
all the work into it, and be like, right, that's it. Sort of projections are cut and they're completely fine.
Then it crashes. You're like, right, who the fuck did that?
Yeah.
Who did that?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't me. Well, it was one of his. Disgusting.
P.S. You was $100 million.
Yeah.
Like that is so much money that is crashing.
You'd be like,
But, like-
you'd be working but never get a wage.
But no, like legitimately, can you imagine being the guy who like did the landing, Maz, and you just see it crash and going like, oh,
I
oh
think
no.
Well, I wonder what happens. Would they get sacked or would they be like?
I don't know.
Because that's a huge error. That's like someone borrowing your staple and work and then never returning it.
No, that's the equivalent of somebody borrowing the building and work and like breaking it and then coming back on Monday and being like, boys have fucked it.
I broke it.
I've
Sorry.
really screwed this up.
That's crazy. There's a little robot. What does it say? Entered the orbit of Jupiter just last week.
What's it called?
NASA Juno. That's not last week. That was 2016. NASA
2
Juno.
years ago in a week.
That's cool. There's a video here that I can't actually open it. It says please check back soon. So obviously the video hasn't worked very well. Has it?
No.
Pillocks. New Horizons, which flew past Pluto. Pluto's not even a planet anymore. Well, it is a planet, but it's not even a part of our.
Is it not a something dwarf?
It's a dwarf planet, is it not?
Celestial dwarf? I can't remember what you call it now. But yeah, it was demoted. There's a whole Rick and Morty episode on Pluto.
I wonder why.
It doesn't meet the criteria apparently.
Of a planet.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it kind of sucks. New Horizons, which flew past Pluto, is so far away that it takes 4 hours 25 minutes for its radio messages to reach Earth.
What word?
Imagine that. You right, mate?
Have you seen how far away? Do you remember the?
I was just waiting for his reply.
Do you remember the?
Your replies are crap today. I'm sorry.
Well, it's just ignore me. You would get 2 replies a day in work.
Yeah, 4 hours.
You'd be
25
like, right,
minutes.
way home.
I'm on my break. What
Speak
are you
to you
at?
tomorrow.
What are you at?
Um,
Why'd you say that? Ah! Oh, you beat it. You beat it.
BRB.
It's transmitting photos at a data rate of about 2 kilobytes a second. Imagine having that rate in your house, like. Well, I almost
2
do. To be fair.
kilobytes. The 2 kilobytes a second, and the photos. I wonder how big they must be.
It must come in like.
It's like pixel,
Yeah.
pixel.
You can literally see the pixels. It'd be like one of those things. Just.
But
Can you tell what it is yet?
Imagine seeing like a proper unreal. But the thing is, that thing's probably been fine for years.
Yeah.
The camera on that won't be anywhere near as good as something you're sending out like a year ago.
No,
Or
no,
now.
I know.
But I can imagine the pictures will be amazing. But
The fact that it's at Pluto is kind of crazy. Like that's
really far away.
It's very far away and it takes 4 hours. It says here that it's roughly the equivalent to a dial-up modem that was in the mid-80s. So,
But we're doing
even if we were to send one out now, in then 20 years, it'll still be crap.
It's true. Yeah, I suppose you just can't get away from that though. Like that's the thing. That's what makes it so amazing that we're doing this and then it's still working.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Like how is that still working where it is?
That's mad. Like,
I can't get signal some places
Yeah, you'd wonder.
on this earth.
You'd wonder, wouldn't you?
Oh, it's so...
Epicenter must be like a black hole. It must be a black hole.
There is one. We found it.
Find it. It's
We found
epicenter.
it.
It's true though. Every time I go in the epicenter, have you got signal?
Gone.
Nope.
I know.
Even in this house, to be fair.
Another one.
There's another black hole underneath us. So that was in 2016. That one. It says it'll take up till the end of that year to send all the messages from Pluto
That is
back
mad.
to mission control.
That is mad.
An entire year to send what? I don't even know how many photos. it would've been.
Well, it depends. I suppose it depends.
Take a
on-
selfie. Alright.
Can you imagine they were the ones that had to decide what photos were taken?
Yeah.
And then they were like, take that one.
Yeah.
And it gets there like 4 hours later.
Oh, you've missed
And
it.
it's, I can't believe you've
Wait and
done
take
this.
O'Brien again. Just orbit and say at that exact time, take the picture.
Can't
4 hours
believe
later.
you've done
You could have told me 25 minutes ago, just past the place. There are the Voyagers. Voyager 1 is travelling at 17,000 milliseconds, or meters per second, or 38,000 miles an hour, which means that you could travel from New York to London in 5 minutes.
Oh my word.
Imagine being that fast. Well, we'd have no skin left on our bodies, like, but I mean, you'd be
Still,
alright, like,
you'd
you
be
know.
there in 5 minutes.
You'd be there in 5 minutes. You wouldn't be there alive, but
Go
you'd
to
be
the
okay.
hospital.
Getting Voyager 1 to reach Neptune accurately was the equivalent of sinking a 3,630 kilometers Gulf putt.
Go for that one again.
Getting Voyager 1 to reach Neptune
Yeah.
accurately was the equivalent of sinking a 3,630 kilometers or 2.2. What was that? 2.5 maybe, or 2.3 miles.
Miles?
Yeah, kilometers.
How many kilometers?
3,630.
That's
Kilometers.
that's like thousands of miles.
It's not thousands. It's 2,000. Be 2,000. What is that? 2,000.
There's 1.6 kilometers in a... No, 3.2 kilometers. Hold on. 1.6 kilometers in a mile. So what was the number?
3,630 kilometers. So not 2.3? 2.2? 2.25.
2,300 miles.
2,300 miles.
Golf putt.
Golf putt.
Oh my
Imagine
word.
You alright? You alright? Yeah. Go! Go! Go!
But by the time you rang, they already made delay, even I
Yeah.
reckon on a phone call.
Yeah, probably.
That far.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, if I ring you on WhatsApp, there's probably going to be a delay there as well. So
that's
it's beyond
mad.
me how on earth these boys have managed to do this. Why aren't
That
these
is
guys behind these
mad.
phone companies and stuff then? You know what I mean? All these mathematicians and all. Even though it's going so fast, for part of the year, Voyager is actually getting closer to Earth. So eventually it'll just go
That's mad.
sad all the same, like. It's because Earth itself is moving even faster, about 30,000 kilometers a second, or 67,000 miles per hour. Jesus. That's so fast.
I feel sick. Let me off.
Yeah, could you imagine? It doesn't feel like it. I
No.
think it's crazy as well that we're moving that fast. We don't even know it.
Yeah. That is weird. I wonder if like an alien was to come down, would they be like, whoa?
I doubt it. I mean,
Or would we just be, what's he getting on?
yeah, they're. You guys not feel that? What?
No.
Whoa.
Go be sick. Yeah.
After 37 years, Voyager 1 has still only just made it out of the solar system.
How many?
It's 37. That was what, 2 years ago?
But they're 39 now.
39.
Wonder what it's sending back. Wonder how long it takes to send stuff back.
I don't know. Well, if it's still.
Must be 8 or 9 hours.
It must be. Pluto is 4.5.
Pluto is far out.
Yeah.
but like out of the solar system,
That's another. Yeah.
there'll be a point where that's lost.
Oh yeah,
Surely.
definitely. I would assume how would you get an emitter to even like a little tracker? Yep, that's the one that's still going. Like, if you think they could put them on that sort of stuff, then you know,
I don't know.
God
That's a
help,
really good point. Like,
God help us all, like, because there's bound to be a limit of where you could be like, yeah, like a
it's
5,000 meter limit.
It's too far now.
Yeah, bound to be something like that. It's more than 20 billion kilometers, about 12 billion miles from Earth, but it's only just reaching interstellar space. If you're wondering how the boundary between the solar system and interstellar space is defined, we can check it out in this bottom bit here, which is good grief. Defines the boundary of the solar system.
Well,
That's a lot of stuff. The sun basically is just what if it passes the sun? Surely God, it would just go.
depends how close. And depends what it's made of.
I can't imagine there still be a metal strong enough to withstand.
No, not that close.
No.
The sun is literally. It's amazing. I love looking at pictures. It's class.
Of the sun,
Like the
like
surface.
the actual but like
Like
the
explosions
redefined
and-
pictures.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, oh, it looks like like
Where all the
yeah.
big stuff comes up, all the big
Yeah.
solar flares and
Yeah.
all. Amazing. There's actually a satellite that they've sent up at the moment called LightSail. You ever heard of it?
No.
I was listening to Star Talk podcast a while ago. They were talking about it. It's a satellite that has no fuel at all.
Just run by solar.
No, it's pushed with light photons.
Oh,
And
that
it's
makes
sail.
sense.
So like, basically they were saying if there's a laser powerful enough, they could like send it out of the solar system.
Yeah.
But obviously it would use like hella a lot of electricity.
It's alright, just power it from my house. Just use Alexa.
Alexa, power the satellite.
But Chaos Reach. Use that, you'd be sweet.
Could.
You'd be flying.
You could.
How long do you reckon it would take the Voyager to get to the nearest star?
So Proxima Centauri was 2,500 miles away. Did you say earlier on? If we were to be the size of a football,
You're not going to get this by any
Earth
means.
was 25 meters away from the sun, and it was then 2,500 something.
Yeah.
It's been in space for 39 years.
You're probably not going to get any.
10,000 years.
73,000
years.
years to reach the nearest star.
Well, it's not going to make it then.
No, of course
Well,
it's not going to
the
be.
thing is, because there's no gravity, it's not going to decay. Unless it hits something, it's not going to break. It's just
I
gonna
can't
keep-
imagine it would never go 73,000 years.
But it
without
physically can't. Unless it hits something,
Yeah,
or something hits it,
yeah.
or...
An alien takes it.
Yeah, it physically cannot decay. It can't break up or burn out unless it hits, obviously goes into like a planet's orbit.
Yeah.
It just physically can't. Because there's no force against it, it's just floating.
Yeah. Floating.
So, will it eventually reach that? Obviously, we'll never find out.
We'll never find out, no. Well, unless
Maybe the human race will never find out.
Yeah, it's true. Even if we do cryogen ourselves, we still might blow up somehow.
Oh no, I just think we're going to destroy the Earth and we're
Oh,
not
yeah.
going to be able to live on it anymore.
But then we can move.
Maybe.
I just orbit the Earth.
You could.
Hmm?
And then just be like, here, remember we wrecked that?
Look at the... Yeah.
Yes, literally. Literally.
So whenever like people go and see, like, you know, they go over to like to Rome.
about a beach.
What?
Okay, son.
At the beach.
I will. I'll tell you about a beach.
I'll show you a picture actually. It's just one down Abu Dhabi if you want to see it.
Literally.
You know, whenever like people go over to the likes of Rome and see ruins and all,
Mhm.
that's exactly what the orbit will be. Do you want to go see Earth's ruins? Yeah.
Oh,
There it
remember,
is.
remember old New York?
What about New York?
Futurama.
That's right. Yeah. So I mean, this says we're not going to get robots anytime soon, but I mean, the amount of things we've seen online about robots,
We
and
are
stuff,
close.
very very close. Yeah. But it says that, you know, we were talking about cameras and stuff earlier on.
Yeah.
It says obviously that one orbiting Jupiter would be pretty
Juno?
naff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Well, I think it was more Voyager was going to be the NAF one. It'd been up there for 40 years. Compared
Yeah,
to Juno's
yeah.
only a few years old.
Well, there's a picture of a certain star that one of the robots have taken, which is kind of crazy.
Oh my word! So, is that not a galaxy?
Yeah, that's what a star is. That's sure the sun's a star as well.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the Milky Way is a galaxy, which has got the sun in it.
Uh-huh.
So is that a galaxy?
There will be other ones, yeah.
Oh, there's every.
Well, if you see every star, it's a galaxy. Isn't that sure?
yeah, that's mad. Do you not think that just is amazing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you see a star and you're like, that star is like a ruler's length between that star and that star, you're like, yeah, that's. But then if you go and imagine how far away that would be.
Imagine how far away they all are.
Yeah.
Like we're not even close. As you say, Proxima Centauri is 73,000 years away.
Yeah. That one was taken by the Hubble telescope.
Oh, I love the Hubble telescope.
Yeah.
As I've said already.
That's crazy.
It's
20 years ago, we didn't know were there any planets outside our own solar system.
It got broken recently, by the way. Did you see that?
I didn't see it. No.
No.
Unfortunately,
Something happened.
didn't see the culprit that broke it. Like, Tim, where are?
I seen what you did with the Mars before with that Mars rover.
Yeah.
What has happened up there? Oh, bollocks.
That's crazy. Now we know. So 20 years ago, we didn't know there were any planets outside our own solar system. Now we
20
know.
years.
20 years ago.
In my lifetime, we didn't know that.
Yeah.
What?
Now we know about more than 3,000, most of which were discovered by the space telescope Kepler.
Okay.
It announced 715 new planets on a single day in 2014.
What? What a hot streak that was. That's like one every 5 minutes. That's ridiculous. That's not actually accurate at all, but you know what I mean? Like, that's a lot.
Mad. 715 planets.
In fact, how many?
715 and a single
In 24 hours?
Yeah.
24 hours is, what, 1,440 minutes or something?
I think that's mad.
1,440. How many? 700?
15.
That's one every 2 minutes.
Cat was going.
Boop, boop. There's one. Another one. Another one. Another one.
Sepsis did it. It's just another one. That's the last fact. But I suppose we could sort of close it out by asking the obvious question.
Would you go?
I mean, if I had the money, like
3 scenarios, right? Now, all of them are free.
well, that's an impossible.
First one, if you were given the option of going on the suborbital, which is the one where you get the stars, the curvature of the Earth, all that sort of stuff, weightlessness.
Yeah.
On your own. Sorry, with make that one with group of friends.
Yeah.
You can pick 4 friends.
Yeah.
International Space Station on your own for 10 days. Or one-way trip to Mars with one person, but Mars is colonized.
But Mars is colonized.
Now, the way Mars is likely to be, it ranges from 20 to minus 125 Celsius.
Yeah.
So, and obviously the carbon dioxide heavy outside, you're more than likely going to have to live inside.
Yeah.
But it is a one-way trip. You don't come back.
I don't think I'd ever go to Mars.
No.
No. I mean, there's just already too much here, I think, for me to sort of leave behind, you know. Mars, like, I don't mind, like, I like going outside, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really want to have this, like, biodome, you know.
No, like sort of Simpsons movie stuff.
Yeah, we're just like, oh, look at the trees inside a dome. Yeah.
Can't go outside the dome.
Yeah. I just don't think I'd like that
It'd be
air.
like being inside out, outside inside. That makes sense.
Yeah, you'd be
It'd
very
be like
very
having
confused.
a garden in your living room.
You'd be very confused. Yeah, exactly. You'd be
Do you know
very
what I mean?
confused with it.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I'd ever go to Mars. That's one thing. I would go if you can come back, obviously.
Yeah.
That's, never going to happen for,
Same.
especially in my lifetime anyway.
2030? I don't know.
No, definitely not. Not
Never
gonna
know.
happen.
15 years.
That's crazy to think about, look.
We'll be 40.
Right, that's enough of that. Don't know. It's a tough one between the 10 days and the...
See, from my view, on a selfish standpoint, I would love the 10 days.
Yeah.
Because you would see the entirety of Earth.
Yeah.
You would see how it works in the space station.
And you would meet a lot of people in space station.
You would.
And you get to do the whole travel. You go, whoo.
Yeah. But you wouldn't be ever properly able to explain what you've seen.
I don't think I'd really mind that, to be honest.
Like, you'd never be able to, like, we'd never be able to sit down and go, but this is what it was like. You just couldn't explain it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you brought 5 friends on that short trip, or 4 friends,
It would
on
be
that short,
something we
whatever
could all
it was,
talk about.
You could all talk about it.
I
But
wouldn't care. I don't think
I
I'd care.
genuinely think I go for the 10 days.
I think I'd go for 10 days.
But just
as well.
because, it would just be amazing.
Yeah.
And as you say, if there was a return trip to Mars where I could go there for a year with one other person and come back after a year, not a problem.
Yeah.
I'd
I
do
think
it.
I'd be fine for that one.
Do it.
But I mean, even still, like trying to come home and explain that to everyone.
No, well, that's the thing. Like,
They sell Mars bars in Mars.
but they're not actually called that.
Yeah, it's called bars. Why is it called bars?
Oh, my word. And that would be the bit that got everyone.
Yeah. Bars?
And they don't call like mud Earth.
Yeah.
It's just called
It's
Mars.
called Mars.
Oh, it'd be so weird.
Where do you get Mars bars from? That's the crazy thing. Mars?
They've got their own factory.
Just something sucking out the earth. I was going to say sucking out the earth. That wouldn't make any sense, would
No,
it?
something like the
Oh, your
Mars.
vocabulary would change as well if you lived in Mars.
What on Mars are you doing?
I don't know. I think people say, "What on earth are you talking about? Anyone that's born in Mars? What?
Oh my word!
Yeah,
There'd be literal Martians,
yeah,
but they'd be people.
yeah. Be babies. Yeah.
Whoa, that's
What?
insane.
I wonder why the word Martian always came up as well. Why was Mars the one that? You know what I mean? Why
Good
not?
question. I don't know. I have to admit, I didn't look that up.
Why,
I
no,
probably
why not
should've.
Jupitations or something? You know,
Well, people from Jupiter are called
Jupitans.
no Jovians. I
Yeah.
think.
Really?
Yeah. I think so. Unless that's just a Destiny term.
That probably is a destiny.
But I'm
term.
almost certain that's right.
I don't know. It kind of be strange, like living on Mars and having a baby born
People
on Mars.
from like the moon would be called like lunar something.
Yeah,
Do you know?
yeah.
In the same way that you can be English American, like whatever. I would assume that
that's
it'd
so
be-
weird. The amount of like probabilities that.
Where are you from? Well, I'm urinal.
You mean urinal?
That's
What?
the worst.
That'd be so bad. Like,
Wouldn't it?
imagine all the names as well. Alan.
Because
Alan
if you're
from
from
Europe.
like Europa, you could be European, not European. You know, it
Yeah.
depends where. Because obviously all these different places have different moons.
That's so weird to think
So
about.
you could also be born on a moon, or
Yeah.
you know.
Imagine meeting someone there, like if someone was born on Mars and they come
Where were
down
you
to
born?
Earth for
Ellis Basin.
Yeah.
That's a legit thing.
Yeah, but not in.
Where were you born? Sea of Tranquility. Where's that?
Oh, could you
The
imagine?
moon. Freaking amazing.
Where were you born? Sea of Tranquility, yeah. It's not tranquil, I'll tell you that much. There's no sea either.
It's a hospital.
Yeah. I think it'd be really class. Someone just came down from Mars and was like, "Oh, what's happening?"
Yeah.
It's
So this
been
is
real.
Earth. Yeah, I'm still on holiday.
Yeah,
Imagine.
that's so strange. I would never want to go to Earth for a holiday. I'll tell you that much.
That'd be amazing.
I'd be livid if I came down and was like, "Oh, this is Earth." Then yeah, you can just buy whatever you want, really. So imagine like their own currency as well. Mars
Bucks.
coins.
Mars coins. That's 34 Mars coins, please.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you just pick out Mars bars.
Jeez, that'd be so weird.
Or
Imagine
bars.
actually they made their own currency as well. That'd be kind of crazy.
I think there'd be just a universal currency. Like everyone would have to use the same one. Like
Space dollars.
it would literally, yeah, it would literally then be like the florp.
The florp.
There'd be florps is the main. Flurps would be
That's just
the
my
ones
name.
down, and then the smallest ones would be
Flaps.
flarps.
Flarps.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so that's 34 flurps, 12. I can't remember what I said.
That would just get so confusing.
It would. You'd probably have to change them entirely.
You would never be able to work it at all.
You just call them gold, bronze, and silvers.
Yeah, but it wouldn't even.
And we'd have to go back to
you,
trading.
you wouldn't even have actual like currency. It would all be on card.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it'd
That'd
be online
probably
transactions.
imbued in like your palm or something.
Yeah, and then Nationwide would actually would work. So it would be called Galaxy Wide instead.
Universe wide.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uniwide. Sounds really bad, doesn't it?
sounds filthy.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll leave it there.
In summary, though, space travel,
100%.
thumbs up,
Oh, 100%.
5 stars.
I'd go tomorrow if I could.
Yes.
And I'd be like, here, sorry, Lauren. I'm
On
actually in
Mars for
space
you.
a minute. Where are you? I'm in space at the moment, actually. Got a really good signal.
Honestly, see this Voyager signal? Unbelievable.
You wouldn't believe
And then
the
4.5
cameras up
hours
here.
later, she's like, "What?"
Oh my god, you're talking over me now. Oh, it's so bad now. Never mind. 4.5 hours waiting for a reply.
Exactly.
But it's like that in Interstellar. Your man's sure he's talking to his daughter.
His daughter, and she's really old at one point.
No, it's such a good movie, but so sad.
It is.
Oh,
It
so
is.
that would take what 7 years to get to her then. He
Where
said
from?
that's what he was saying. Sure, he was talking to her, and it took 7 years to get her message.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When he was on that planet.
The one that time was going really slow.
For him,
Yeah.
and it was like 7 years.
That's the one where every beat
Yeah.
is one day.
Uh-huh.
And that was an amazing wee fact I found. It was class.
Yeah.
Really adds some weight to that scene.
Yeah.
But yes, we shall call that one an episode, and enjoyed that.
So did that. It was class.
Nice one. So we'll catch you in the next one, folks.
Bye.